At this time, podcast is back. Eric DeSobe here. Our first three-person pod. Some of my favorite people are here. Chinedu is here. Dr. Majors is here. We've known each other a long time, but I must try to think like how many people we must have talked about trying to hire in the times that we've known each other. Chinedu, how many people do you think that we hired since we've known each other?
Uh, I maybe close to 50 to 60 people.
Right, at least. And
Yeah,
then
and you
Dr.
hired
Majors.
me, so we've been together
Yeah,
for a long time.
exactly. I hired you, so it was a great way to start. And then,
Same. You
yeah,
hired
about
me
the number,
too,
right?
Eric.
All the Compton founding years and probably some stuff
Absolutely.
that webinar. Exactly.
I was gonna say hundreds,
Hundreds
but
and hundreds of
you know,
thousands. Yeah. Well, LeAnna, maybe I'll start with you in terms of like when you think about what are the keys to making good decisions when you hire people, or the keys to keeping people happy once you hire them. What kind of things would you want people to know based on all your years of experience trying to do it?
yeah. Well, I would think first and foremost that the person who is hiring is very clear on what they value, and making sure that the folks that they are hiring um, also share those values when it comes to the work that they are trying to move forward. So hopefully, the interview processes reflect that, so you can make sure that you're hiring folks that um, are the people who are going to help you achieve your vision.
Yeah. And y'all are both former principals, which is cool. Principals of schools. Those people always have a good eye for talent. Chinedu, you're doing some really interesting work with LeAnna right now, kind of growing people's skills. Kind of talk people through what the latest thing y'all are working on is.
Oh, yeah. So Leon and I have worked together for a very long time as school principals. And I think what we're really excited about now is in our current work with When We Gather Consulting, we support Black women in feeling whole and powerful in the workplace. And we really do that by focusing on one-on-one coaching, cohort development, and then gatherings and convenings so that Black women leaders are thinking about how they reclaim rest, reclaim purpose, and ultimately lead not only in a sustainable, purpose driven way, but also ultimately have impact. So that's the work we really do, and we're really excited about it.
And the cohort model, I imagine, is really powerful because oftentimes feedback we hear from Black women in the workplace is it's a very isolating experience, especially as you get more senior. What have you seen as the value, Chinedu, of having that cohort model?
Yeah, the cohort model is essential specifically because of the experience that people may have of feeling like they might be isolated. I think sometimes when we're in leadership, we spend a lot of time wondering, doubting ourselves, wondering if we're crazy, if we're not seeing things clearly. And really, the cohort space not only offers an opportunity for you to skill up in your leadership moves, but more importantly, help you spend less time second guessing yourself and more time engaging and building the vision that you want to create with your community, your team, or even a school. So, yeah, the cohort model really helps Black women see the connection between their work and then lean on each other to grow.
Dr. Majors, how many cohorts have you worked with so far?
I mean, so far we have finished our inaugural
Oh,
cohort,
nice.
so our first cohort recently, and we're really excited that we're registering Our registration is open right now for our next cohort of Black women, and so we it's really important to us that we are gathering together as Black women. Because of the reasons that Shinadu just brought up, but also so that we can have spaces where we can feel seen and feel connected, and take that energy into our workplaces as we move forward. But yeah, we're excited to start with our second cohort soon.
And is there a profile of person that you feel like this opportunity makes the most sense for? Is it someone late career, early career? What would you want people to know?
Oh, I'm gonna pass that to Shinadu.
Jump in
Yeah,
there, Jen.
I'll take it. You know, really, I would say Black women leaders who are in mid career, those who have led teams before, might be managing teams, managing programs, and are in a part of their leadership where they're like, I'm not new to leadership, but I understand that if something doesn't shift, I might not be able to sustain in my leadership. And I think when we lose Black women leaders because they burn out, essentially, it really does have a negative impact on organizations, particularly mission driven organizations where Black women form a large amount of mid-level leadership and senior leadership. So Black women leaders in that mid-leadership, mid-career, I think are ideal. So program directors, project leaders, I think are great for this program.
And then are you expecting a mix of nonprofit folks, corporate folks? What's the kind of best guess here?
Yeah, definitely want to see a mix. One of the things that's so important in understanding that the work is not an isolating one is seeing the way that things come together across um, different industries. So, nonprofit, education, corporate spaces as well. And LeAnna, I think, can add a little bit more to that. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing I would add is that we are hoping to be a space for Black women who are just looking for ways to connect to themselves and access power that is within us already. And so I think it benefits us to, build community across industry and with each other, particularly when we are we may be feeling a little bit unclear about how we can see that community within our current workspaces. So we want to offer that for Black women leaders, yeah, so that we can lead and realize our visions.
And then, Dr. Majors, when your inaugural cohort met, it was a time essentially, right, when anti-DEI efforts are in full swing, and a lot of orgs are going backwards on a lot of the commitments they made publicly and privately. What conversations were y'all having in that group? What ways were you trying to support folks through this really tough time?
Yeah, I mean, really, our work is about Black women feeling seen. And our message to them is you are whole, you are powerful. What do you value? What are your strengths? And how might you leverage that reflection in how you show up every single day at your job, right? And in life. How will you make sure that you're taking care of yourself
Mhm.
um, every single day so that you can continue to show up the way you want to? I think in connection to this resistance to DEI efforts. At the end of the day, what we want is for the Black women that we work with to um, just know that that we see them, even if certain policies or the narratives would say that we shouldn't.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then,
Absolutely.
Chinedu, what would you want for the fifth cohort to be like, or the 10th cohort to be like? I'm
Hmm.
curious where you see this going. It's always exciting to get the first one. I'm sure you all learned a ton. But yeah, what are some of the projections of where this goes and what it looks like in the future?
Yeah. Leon and I have a very clear framework for the way we look at leadership development specifically for Black women. In the leadership intensive, in cohort one, all the way to cohort 5 and 10, it's a robust group of Black women leaders across industries. And they're really focused in on how they're defining themselves, counter narratives. They're really focused on how they're engaging in experiencing one on one coaching to access self determination. And ultimately, what we want to see cohort through cohort is that they leave the cohort experience or a one on one coaching experience and are able to think really critically about how they transform systems within their organization to actualize their vision. The visions that we imagine all people are engaged in is one of collective liberation. That is the only, that is the work. No matter how you frame it, whether you work at Google or Microsoft or a charter management organization, ultimately you see your work connected to the way we craft community, the way we transform systems so that everyone around us, Black women, and all those around us are feeling whole and powerful and able to do meaningful work. So cohort 5 is will be building upon what cohort 1 through 4 has realized is that I have power and agency to transform systems and have impact.
Yeah. Last thing, let's talk about cohort two, which it sounds like y'all are building now. LeAnna, how could folks learn about what's involved in the cohort? How can they sign up? How can they make it happen?
Yeah, I would have folks who are interested just find us on LinkedIn at When We Gather Consulting, and Instagram. All of the information around just learning more about who we are, what we do, as well as registering for our next cohort can be found at those platforms.
Awesome.
And hit follow.
Hit follow, like, and subscribe. Smash the
Yeah.
subscribe
Like
button,
and
everybody.
subscribe.
Nice. We'll put all that info in the description for the episode. Thanks you two for coming on, for doing our first 3-person pods. Great to see y'all, and appreciate all the work you're doing. Make sure everyone checks it out. You can catch all the past episodes of this podcast, all the places you get them, and catch us in stunning 4K on YouTube. Until next time, we'll catch you soon.